All right, I think you guys know the drill. It's April the 1st, the year 2017. Letter came in from Schaeffer. We're going to read it. That's his prison address. That's his prison number, 16179-006, postmarked March the 29th, 2017. He has a little note up at the upper right. March the 27th of 2017, Gomez sent him $25. He's always very, very thankful to people who send him money on his commissary. The letter is actually dated March the 24th of 2017. That's about 8 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. So we're running an 8-day lag. Here we go. It says, Rudy, here are some notes on the Facebook back and forth conversations you sent me. So my wife and I do try to send Schaeffer screenshots of Facebook conversations. We can't get everything, and as you can imagine, being in a cage, he doesn't have full visibility into all the social media that's going on. But we do try to send him some stuff and conversations when we see it, so he's aware of the conversations as much as we can and as we have time. Schaeffer goes on to write, is Maria claiming that AFL funds could not go towards Schaeffer Cox? The tax structure would not allow it. If so, that is just another lie and excuse. She'll drop it and get a new one as soon as we poke holes in it. Also, it directly contradicts her previous position, which I have attached. Okay, Schaeffer did attach a letter. Looks like a printout of some emails. The emails were from Maria to Grady Cox, as well as from Maria to the board. I'll read the highlights of the letter. One highlight was, this is from Maria to Grady. You should be able to verify this for yourself once you receive AFL records and tax returns, should you accept the position of chairman. So they're trying to get Grady Cox to accept the position of chairman of the AFL board, and Schaeffer does not like that idea at all. He simply wants the donor list, the funds, full accounting, and the Eberly contract information. Another part that Schaeffer highlighted was, this is from Maria to the board. It is my belief that the funds raised by Eberly for the Free Schaeffer Cox project are both morally and contractually to be used for Schaeffer's defense only. Okay. Then Schaeffer puts a little note by that and says, this is the email where Maria wanted my little brother Grady to take on the unknown liability position of chairman before he could get any information at all. I told Grady to not sign up for something blind. Maria basically said, close your eyes and open your mouth to my little brother. Of course, I told him not to go for that. I don't want the AFL train wreck. I just want what's mine, which he has said multiple times is any leftover funds, the donor list, returning of the limited power of attorney from Maria, a full accounting, and the Eberly contract information. But in any event, you know, it's obvious that Maria and the board wanted to give this over to Grady, which is Schaeffer's little brother, but Schaeffer advised against that, and he always wanted everything to be turned over to Angela. Not the chairman position of the AFL board, but simply the 4 things that he's been asking for. And so the analogy that I would give is, you know, if you just want to think about this in a plain layman way to think about it, imagine you're in prison and a lot of money has been raised in your name for you, and you're directing, because the money was raised to help you while you're in prison, and you tell the people that helped raise it, hey, give all that money to, let's just use Angela, right? Because she's the one. Give all the money to Angela. But you're saying, no, 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 we don't want to give it to Angela. We don't trust Angela. We want to give it to your brother, Grady. But in order for Grady to get it, he's got to sign up as chairman of the AFL board. And the AFL board, they're not going to disclose any of their records. They're not going to disclose any of their dealings until Grady accepts the position of chairman. So Grady, obviously, and Schaeffer thought that was a bad idea. They don't want to accept chairman of a board that has questionable dealings. And so they just want the funds, the full accounting, the donor list, the Eberly contract information, the rescinded power of attorney to be sent to Angela. It doesn't matter if the board doesn't trust Angela. That's not the point. Schaeffer has designated Angela. Now, I happen to know Angela, and I think very highly of Angela, but it doesn't matter what the board thinks of Angela. It has no bearing on it whatsoever. The money was raised in Schaeffer's name. The money should go where Schaeffer directs it to go. And if Schaeffer wants to send it to someone in Indonesia, if he wants to send it, it doesn't matter. It's the money was raised for Schaeffer, right? And so Schaeffer should be able to designate it where it goes, and that's the bottom line there. Let's move on and continue to read the letter. Most importantly, the donors donated because they were told the money would go to me, and I'd use it for my defense. Those representations have to be lived up to. This duty overrides AFL, bylaws, etc. You can't hang out a sign that says, give me $4,000 and I'll put a new roof on your house. Let people pay you. Then when people ask why you never put a new roof on their house, say, our bylaws and the tax structure won't let us do roof work. Very good analogy if you ask me. If it's true that AFL funds can't go to help me, then they better give me back all the money that people donated to help me, because that's the only thing that money can be legally used for. On his second page, he says, correct Aaron's Facebook. I'm not charged with conspiracy to kidnap and murder officials. I'm charged with conspiring to lead a resistance someday when the government collapses, in which some officials will likely get hurt. Probably, maybe. So I'm not sure exactly what Aaron's Facebook he's talking about exactly. I did find, let me see if I can find it. April 1st, back up. This is, I got to go to the Cox directory. I think it's the verdicts. He's talking about what he was charged with, but I found the verdict page. I think it was 15. We, the jury, find the defendant Francis Schaeffer Cox guilty of conspiracy to murder officers and employees of the United States as charged in count 2. Obviously, he's not conspiring to murder anybody, and that was a thought crime, and we understand how the trial was a complete kangaroo court. I don't know. See, the problem is I don't recall the exact Facebook posting, but I will get with my wife, and we will try to figure out what he's talking about so we can correct it. But I agree with him that he's charged with conspiring to lead a resistance someday when the government collapses, in which some officials will likely get hurt, probably, maybe. It's basically a thought crime. There is no victim in Schaeffer Cox's case. He goes on to write, I don't know what kind of restrictions AFL has. They won't even tell us what AFL is. Eberly says it's not a 501c4. I don't care. I don't want to know. All I know is that 20,000 donors gave money to me, and I didn't give it to AFL. Let me read that again. All I know is that 20,000 donors gave money to me, and I didn't give it to the AFL. However, they got it. They aren't supposed to have it, and they need to give it back right now. I can understand Schaeffer's position on that completely. All this discussion about what AFL is and how they're structured is missing the point. None of it matters at all. It wouldn't matter if everything about Maria and AFL was clean as a whistle and on the up and up, which is not the case, but even if it was, they don't have permission to have the money. The last paragraph of Schaeffer's letter is, any money that people knowingly donated to Maria's top secret, shadowy board of directors or of whatever unknown entity to be used for unknown purposes is theirs to keep. But any money donated to Schaeffer Cox needs to go to Schaeffer Cox right away. Makes sense, Schaeffer? You know what, Schaeffer? It makes complete sense to me. And, Schaeffer's letters make a complete, absolute, reasonable, perfect points. He's right on. He's spot on. And just because the board got together and voted and they have bylaws doesn't mean that they get to choose what to do with Schaeffer's money. And they say, well, we tried to give it to Schaeffer's brother, but his brother wouldn't accept chairman of our organization. Why should Grady Cox accept chairman of your organization? And if Schaeffer has designated Angela to receive the donor list and the funds and the full accounting and the Eberly information, then why not? Yes, it's not the board's position to override Schaeffer. Fundamentally, this boils down to the board is not respecting Schaeffer's right to make decisions about his own life and about funds that were raised in his name. That's what it fundamentally boils down to. And if you don't respect the man that you're trying to help in prison, and you put your bylaws and your policies above that, then I would say that there's some serious problems in your basic foundation of how you go about your business. But in any event, we'll keep reading Schaeffer's letters and get the truth out. And God bless every one of you. Have a great day.